Welcome to GSJ Speaks, where we shine a light on how GSJ Family Life Center is transforming our communities through partnership. I am Shelia Owens, the Executive Director of the Center. Today, I'm excited to meet with the Development Director of the Austin Garden Collective, Ms. Chamika. Well, garden season is upon us. We want to discuss Chamika's journey to becoming an urban agriculturalist. That's a big word for me. And the important work that she and the Austin Garden Collective are doing in the Austin community. So I want to go into a bit of information on our guest. Chamika is an urban agriculturalist, land steward, and community development practitioner based right here in Chicago. She's the founder of Soda Farms, a family-run urban farm, as well as the development director for the Austin Garden Collective. So thank you for joining us. I'm so glad that you're here.
Thank you. We're glad to be here.
Good. I'm glad that you accepted it. I thought about the garden season, and I was thinking that we just recently joined the Austin Garden Collective because we're starting our own vegetable garden in the community, and I was like, I hope they're willing to come on and accept the invitation. So thank you for that. So I have interview questions. I'm excited to start talking about this. So you managed to turn a personal passion into a professional mission. Can you walk us through your journey into urban agriculturalism and the moment you knew this was your calling?
Yeah, sure, no problem. So thanks for having us, and we're excited about you guys'
Tell Cindy I said hi.
I will. Definitely will. You know, we all, for people who don't know, we all know each other in the Austin community. We're like a big family. But as far as my journey, like many others, I had no idea I was going to be a farmer. I went to school for something completely different. I went to school for architecture. I worked in public policy with the Park District, and I was doing exactly what I thought I was supposed to be doing. Like many others, COVID was life-changing.
Yes.
I was actually already homesteading for my own health and wellness because I was born with some underlying health conditions, and I learned that like the way that my body responded to certain foods was helpful or not helpful. But the thing that got me was like when I grew a tomato in my backyard and I ate it, I was totally fine. But if I ate one from the store, I'd break out in hives everywhere. So that started me doing that. And then when COVID hit, because my husband's also a healthcare worker, my kids just kind of looked at me and was like, Mommy, you are way happier when you're in the backyard playing with the plants than you are at work. And I was like, but no, I really like my job. They were like, yeah, but we see it. And so they convinced me to continue the journey and transform my hobby into, or my lifestyle, right, into a professional career. And it was way more joy than I anticipated. And so the deal was, if I do this, you guys are going to have to help me. So they're out there and they're bed prepping. Each one has a task. There's one that likes to transplant. There's one that likes to move the compost. And there's one that just likes to talk about what everybody else is doing. So,
and I know which one it is.
Yeah. And my husband's the infrastructure guy. So yeah, it's just really fun, and it's been life-changing in the best way possible. So, but that's how I got here, and then along the way, I just realized this is something that more people need access to.
They do. Okay, so tell me, for those that don't understand urban farming and urban agriculture, give me a little bit on that, just a little bit.
So I always try to tell people there's a difference between community gardening and farming. One of the major differences is land access, of course. But farming, especially in an urban environment, is the same concept we think of when we think about big ag, but it's kind of more original to the roots, like the victory gardens we used to have during the war, where you're growing food safely for people to eat and consume. And in modern day times, it's as a business.
Okay.
And so we grow over 50 variety of crops. We have collards, kale, but then we also do like the heirloom and the heritage variety, like walking stick kale or tree collards and things like that, to just kind of reconnect people to the food that we eat.
Yeah.
A lot of times people don't realize how much food you can actually grow on a small scale. It's healthier, denser with nutrition. But urban farming is literally farming in an urban environment on a smaller scale for the purpose of safe food production.
It moved me, and I promise we're going to get to the other questions, but it moved me to find out that there were urban farmers in Chicago, Black urban farmers as well.
Yeah.
That really moved me. And then I remember you and I having a conversation about the type of fruit and vegetables that you guys grow. And I was like, there's no way you can grow that in Chicago. You're like, no, Shelia, you really, really can. So this is something really huge. You're definitely coming back to the show. I say that now because I want more people to know what's happening and what's going on, and then also what we can grow. I think that most people don't know, so it'll be a challenge for people to learn it. But if there are people out there that want to start their own farms, we would encourage it, but they also need to know what it is that they can do and what those provisions are. Okay, so I will move on. The mission. Tell us about Austin Garden Collective. How is your work specifically moving the needle?
Yeah. So the Austin Garden Collective is an Austin resident-led organization that really has deep roots within the Austin Quality of Life Plan. And our focus is to basically collectively cultivate community through the reactivation and activation of our green spaces. Everyone knows it. You drive down the street in certain neighborhoods, you see a lot of vacant lots that are turned into parking lots or trash dumps and things like that. But those are actually like spaces that have value, and not everyone always sees that. And so what we try to do is we have a network of we say 25, but there's more like 40 growers in Austin. And the collective was started about 7 years ago by Cindy, our executive director. And she realized there were a lot of gardens in the area that were doing their own thing, but they weren't necessarily connected with each other. And so the number one rule in farming or growing at all, community.
Absolutely.
So because even the USDA considers a farmer an entry level for the first 10 years. So there's a lot to learn with farming. So you need each other because that's a network of knowledge. And so she went on an adventure to connect them all. And so by the time I got there 2 years ago, there was 25-ish. And then there are school gardens in Austin through Open Lands has the space to grow. There are community gardens. There's community farms, which have more heavy food production, like Build and things like that. And then there are actual urban farms. And so what we do is we just collectively keep them together. We resource, we network, and we support, and we help them in what they're doing. This season, we're kind of expanding that reach a little bit, and we're going to be helping farmers who want to do this on a business level with the creation of advanced incubators. And that is in partnership with a lot of organizations such as Neighbor Space, AUA, Advocates for Urban Agriculture, the Great Matter Experience, which does business entrepreneurships for children, or youth, sorry, not children, youth. And a lot of other organizations Build, Windy City Harvest through Chicago Botanic Garden. And so we're all kind of collectively coming together to look at the landscape to say, how can we continue this local food movement? Because with the climate that we're in and all the changes that we saw that started pre-COVID but showed up post-COVID, there's a need to have those spaces there. So we as the collective, we're just working to make that work happen. And we're hyper-focused on the West Side, who historically has been underserved.
And in some ways, underserved is a nice word. Ignored is sometimes an even better word. I'm willing to say ignored as well. Tell me how the Austin Garden Collective, you believe, in since its established date, has helped with the quality of life specifically for those individuals on the West Side that you're working for.
Well, we were created directly out of the Quality of Life Plan, Section 3, with Austin coming together. So everything that we do aligns directly with what they're doing. But this gives an opportunity for people to take a skill or a hobby and turn it really into a business. It's a way to increase the land value within the Austin community.
Definitely.
Provide local resources for the Austin community that we haven't had before, that we've waited historically for people to come and bring in, and they just aren't showing up in the ways that we need them. Not to say they aren't there, because there are some people that are there that are doing some really heavy underground work, which is why we're able to do things like this. But there's a need for more. And so we are directly tied to making sure that healthy, fresh produce gets to the doors
Yes.
or touching the
Yes.
soil, grounding yourself,
Yep.
providing access, knowledge, and resources for the health and well-being of people. You know, there's a lot of studies out there that show how healthy diet and nutrition can directly affect your health and wellness. You know, a lot of the ailments that we see in Austin are diet related.
Yep. Absolutely.
Whether we are aware or not, you know, ignorance is not an excuse anymore. There's modern day technology and resources. So we're just trying to make sure that people understand what that really looks like, what that really means, and connects to that, and do it with our partners who are also doing the work.
Question for you, and if you don't have it now, it's totally okay. I would love data. I would love to know how many families you guys have actually impacted, because one of the things that we see is this starved out status where there's no real fruits and vegetables in the community, which is, I know why, one of the points that the quality of life plan discusses is the fact that there is food scarcity, specifically fruits and vegetables. I would love to know how many families you collectively that you guys have been able to support and help. So if you can bring that information back when you come, I would love it. Only because I think it's extremely important, and I don't think that people know that a lot of what you guys do, there's a lot of giveaway too. There's not just you guys starting a business and selling to vendors. There's a lot of fruit, because I've gotten it from you, I've received it from you, and been able to give it to the seniors that we work with, being able to give them bags of fruits and vegetables, and they are so excited about it. One, when they see it, they're excited about it, and then they go, oh, I can go home and fix this, I can fix this, I can create this. So I would love to know how many families you guys have touched, because I know you've touched a lot in the collective.
No, we definitely have a lot of data, and we'll have more in the coming season as we make the transition to also supporting farmers in addition to our community gardeners. Our community gardeners do so much already in the community, and I love it. It's beautiful because they don't see it as work. They're just doing what they know. So there is no data on that, but I am able to say confidently that we have had an influx of volunteers. We have volunteer Saturdays every Saturday. So we give people the opportunity to get outdoors and touch the soil in a safe space in a way that works for everyone and beautifies their community. I believe we had about 90-ish volunteers this year. And then we also have community organizations that come from out of state and reach out to us specifically to volunteer in our spaces because they're learning about urban agriculture. And so we've been able to host them for 3 years now. We gave away about 1,500 pounds of produce in November alone. So after the SNAP changes happened, we realized there was a crisis among us. And through our partnerships with other organizations and growers, such as Windy City Harvest, we were able to do food rescue and distribute those produces throughout our neighborhood. We've done things like Veggie RX with Bill, which we're working on bringing back this season, where we were able to have a culinary person come in and a dietitian and nutritionist and actually give culinary education about what these fruits and vegetables do and how they affect you, how to do some replacements, because that's the big thing we hear. And then we were able to give away produce there too. So
just so much. Overall, you guys have done so much. And please invite me to the next one.
Yes.
Please invite me. I would love to come. For those unfamiliar with the term incubator farm. What does it support in Austin?
Okay. So I always tell people an incubator is the difference between growing for your health and wellness or for your community and growing for funding, right? Growing for money. And we get it. Not everyone wants to do that, but there are a lot of people that are trained to be able to do that and do that safely. And they just don't have access to the resources that are needed to properly do that. And so an incubator space is just that. It's an access point. It gives you an opportunity to access land, tools, sometimes training, knowledge, mentorship, things that you wouldn't necessarily be able to acquire on your own, to be able to grow in that space, your business. An advanced incubator, which is what we're focused on, is someone who's already had that experience. So again, like I went through the Windy City Harvest program, apprenticeship, and I got all the additional training that I needed as far as certifications to be able to safely grow. But that wasn't just me. There were 19 other people there with me, and this program has been happening for a while. And so there's a lot of people out there that have the training, that have the knowledge to be able to do this, but don't have the space to do it.
Absolutely.
We have the space and we have a need. And so we're working on collaborating to bring that environment to our environment to help everyone. And then it's also an opportunity to mentor specifically for our residents and our youth. I always tell people urban ag, I look at it as a trade. It's a very specialized skill. Like, you gotta know. Like, when you say, thanks for coming, I know it's getting started. It started for me back in January. I had leaks going and growing. So you got a crop plan. You got to predict the weather to a certain degree. You've got to be prepared. You got to order stuff. You got to think about the bugs and the diseases and the pests and what you can use safely to get rid of them. You have to think about the soil. Is it toxic? The right tools that you have to use. Someone's got to balance the books. Someone's got to figure out how to refrigerate it. Someone's got to figure out how to save it. Back in the day, someone had to figure out how to fix that tractor when it went out. So all of these things come along with being a farmer, and it's a very specialized skill set. And there's a lot of people out there who have that. But there's a lot of people who don't even understand what that looks like. And so for us, it's an opportunity to show, like, hey, this is what you can do. This is what we have. But are you interested in this? Come work with us. We'll show you. Because when you go to a farmer's market, you go to the farm stand because you know the farmer, right? And then when that farmer leaves, you're like, okay, you're nice, but the other farmer knew that I like my collards like this. Or I like my onions this size, you don't know me yet. And so to prevent that from happening, because an incubator space is just that, an incubator, it's on a specific time, we have to have another set ready to go that knows the community, right? And so why not have, the people that are in our community that are interested learn how to do this? So it's going to be a bit of a process, but there's some workforce development in there. There's some mentorship in there. There's some entrepreneurship in there, all of which will directly support the quality of life of the community.
Very good. Oh my God, powerful movement, a lot. And then you were doing all of those things that you listed all by yourself when you actually started up.
I did.
So,
yeah. I was the crazy lady that was like, I'll do it on my own. So I can't say I did it on my own because I definitely had my family backing me, right? I have a husband, I have 3 little women, and I'm like, this was your idea. So again, somebody's doing the website, somebody's putting these transplants out there. But wherever I wasn't available in one space, there was always someone else available for me in my absence. And so I've been blessed in that way because I tell everyone, God sent me to this space. Yes. And I don't know how long I'll be in this space because when he or she says move, I'm out. Right? Absolutely. But my job while I'm in this space is to make it as productive for everyone that comes before me and the people who came before me and the people who will come after me. We shouldn't be surviving anymore. We should be thriving. We have the resources. We just need to use them.
I do want to say this to our audience. Chamika is a definite giver. I've now known her, I think, for 2 years. And each time I have interacted with her, it has always been positive. She is a giver. She's an educator. She doesn't even realize that she's educating you as she's talking to you. But she is always providing information. I really would like for people to get connected with the Austin Garden Collective. We're going to give some information at the end of the show. But she's definitely educated, as you can tell, very articulate, very smart. She knows what she's doing. And she has a personal story that is behind all of this, which I think is really beautiful. So if you get a chance to meet her, you will find out what that personal story was. So, contact her when we give the information at the end. Okay, so practical tips for the aspiring backyard gardener watching right now. Yeah. What are the essential first steps for preparation? Preparation first. We'll start there.
Just do it. That's number one. Do it. I hear so often, I don't have a green thumb. Let me tell you guys a secret. I can grow some food really well. I will kill every houseplant I have if it does not produce food. So, everybody has a green thumb. We all do. We've just lost touch with our green thumbs, right? Because if you look at the biology of plants, it's pretty much the same as humans. So number one, do it. Number two, pick the stuff you know. Don't try to grow something that you've never eaten before, because how will you know if it's not looking right, if it doesn't taste right? Go with what you know. Do it in a community. Come to our volunteer Saturdays. Learn from people who are doing it. Buy local. Shop local.
Please.
Farmers will tell you what you need to know for sure. Yeah, and like there's workshops that happen throughout Austin all the time. Build has one every month. There's one actually coming up with seed starting to get you started, because that can be challenging for people sometimes. But I would just say, just make a point to do it. Start slow. Do it in a community setting, and go to the workshops.
Yeah, get connected within the community. Don't just start, but we want to make sure that you guys at least have that start at least. And then the call to action. How can people support your mission?
Well, they can support the collective by going to our website, www.austingardencollective.org. You'll be able to find out a little bit more about what we do, a little more in detail. You'll be able to reach out to us directly. You'll see all the events that we have going on. We do a tremendous amount of things.
Yes.
Like we have a bare root native fruit tree giveaway coming up in April for those people who want to do fruit trees. Yay! And I emphasize native, meaning that they are meant for this climate. So they're going to grow really big, through our partners at the Extension Office. And we just always have something going on. So people can come out and participate. You can follow us on social media at Austin Garden Collective. That's our Instagram and our Facebook handle. If you want to know more about the farming side, you can also reach out to me, Soda Farms. That's our handle, sodafarms.com. When you send that email, it's coming to me. So give me 24 to 48 hours. But I just say, if you have questions, just ask them. We're always happy to reach out and support, and we encourage people to do it. And really, come to the volunteer days. If you can't make it, send someone else. And just if you see someone not taking care of their green space, tell them not to do that.
Connect them with Chamika. So as we wrap up today's conversation, we want to celebrate the work of the Austin Garden Collective and Chamika through Soda Farms. We're filled with anticipation for the 2026 garden season and all the new endeavors. Again, if you'd like to contact the organization for more information or to volunteer, please email Austin Garden Collective. We're intentional with our programming, as our theme is community connection and building business through partnership. To learn more, get involved, or support the work of GSJ or the Austin Garden Collective, you can also visit gsjcenter.org and follow us on social media. From Austin to the airways, this is GSJ Speaks, where communities lead and transformation speaks for itself. Thank you so much and have a beautiful week. Bye.